Hello everybody, I am Shah. I am finance faculty with MR.GODLKE. Today I am going to introduce you with one of the techniques which comes under financial management subject. In financial management subject, we are going to be specifically dealing with capital budgeting. Now what is capital budgeting? Well, the name says capital. Capital means money invested in the business. Budgeting means whether it is worth investing or not. So, let's analyze this thing, see how to do capital budgeting. There are 5 techniques which we will be learning in this capital budgeting chapter. Out of these 5 techniques, today we are going to see one of the techniques called net present value technique. So to understand this net present value, let's take a case scenario. Let's see, there is a project and that project has got investment of 20 lakhs. And that project is going to give you the return for 3 years. So, whether to invest or not, we don't know. So to know whether to do it or not, we are going to use a technique called net present value. Now, you might get a question in your brain that net present value, what does this mean? The word, the combination of these 3 words mean. So as you see, net means what? Investment which is done against the returns which we get. What is the net profit or net effect of this investment? Present value means you are going to get the returns in 3 years, but you have invested the money now. So what is the value of that return of 3 years at today's price level? Now, present value. So, to get more clarity on it, let's solve one example on it. So already we have taken an example where there is a project and that project has got an initial cash outflow of rupees 20 lakhs. Now it is going to give you the return for next 3 years. So how much return? Let's assume it. So we are going to get the returns for the first year, say 8 lakhs. Then it is given that the next year we are going to get the return of 14 lakhs, and the last year it is said that we are going to get the return of 13 lakhs. Now what is the present value of all these 3 years return on this current year? So for that we need to say if this capital has got some cost. That cost, say it is 10%, we have taken a loan. If we invest in the bank or if we take from a loan, we are going to get it at 10%. So the present value will be, or the discounting factor 20,850. So, what is the net present value NPV for the project of 20 lakhs is PVCO minus PVCI. PVCO is the present value of cash outflow, which is 20,000. Sorry, PVCI minus PVCO. So we have already got this. So this is our cash inflows present value, and deducting from this the investment which we made, that is 20 lakhs, we get the net 6,80,000, 8,60,850. So now it's a decision part, whether we should invest or not. According to this technique, we got a positive NPV, so we should invest in this project. Thank you. I hope it was really interesting and understandable. Thanks. Now, once we have seen about one project, so there is one more opportunity. So we can say project B. We'll name this as project A and we'll name this as project B. Here also we have got the investment or PVCO as 20 lakhs initial investment, and here also the returns are for 3 years, and the first year return is 14 lakhs, next year it is 12 lakhs, and the last year is 9 lakhs. If I calculate only the returns in project A and in project B, I will get the return as 35 lakhs in A as well as 35 lakhs in B. So, where to invest? So, we have already used the technique of NPV in project A. We found out the net present value of it. Let's do this technique to B also. Find out how much net profit we are getting over here. Then we can easily choose between any of these two. So, do the same things over here also. We will have PV factor at the rate 10%, which is the first year is 0.9090, 0.8264 and 0.7513. If I multiply this thing with the cash inflows, I get present value of cash inflows. For the first year, that is 14 lakhs, multiplied by the present value, I get the return of 12,72,600. Then, next year return is 12 lakhs. 12 lakhs multiplied by the present value factor, I get is 9,91,680. And the last year, which I get the return of 9 lakhs multiplied by the present factor, I get the value of 6,76,170. And the total of the PVCI is 29,40,450. So, let's find out the NPV of project B. PVCI minus PVCO. PVCI I get 29,40,450 and PVCO is this much, 20 lakhs. So here my NPV comes to 9,40,450. My NPV is positive, so it should accept this project. But I don't have 40 lakhs, I just have 20 lakhs. So I have to choose between project A and project B. So let's choose it on the the projects and investment opportunities. And it is the most basic one and understood by everybody. Thank you.